The hidden truth. Why searching for your life purpose makes you more miserable, and how to fix it. Have you ever noticed that the harder you search for your life purpose, the more exhausted and lost you become? There's a psychological reason this happens, and the personal development industry doesn't want you to figure it out. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal how to break this destructive cycle and finally discover the inner peace you've been desperately seeking. The productivity addiction. How being busy became your biggest mental prison. If you feel like you're constantly chasing something but never actually getting anywhere, prepare to discover the truth that will completely transform how you think about productivity forever. Neuroscience reveals something terrifying about our brains. We've been programmed to seek validation through constant action. A groundbreaking study from Harvard University showed that people who report being always busy experience 73% more anxiety and depression symptoms than those practicing what researchers called intentional productivity. The system has sold you the idea that your worth as a human being is directly tied to your ability to do, produce, and execute. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. This obsession with staying constantly busy is just a sophisticated form of reality avoidance. When you're perpetually doing something, you don't have time to question whether you're doing the right things. Your brain has developed a chemical addiction to the feeling of being productive. Every completed task releases a small hit of dopamine, creating a cycle where you need to do more and more to feel the same satisfaction. It's like a neurological casino where the house always wins. And the house is a system designed to keep you too busy to question your own existence. The subversive evolution starts when you understand that real productivity isn't about quantity, but about impact. It's not about doing 1,000 mediocre things, but about doing one extraordinary thing. The emotional freedom you're seeking isn't at the end of your to-do list. It's in having the courage to shorten that list. The most dangerous autopilot is the one convincing you that if you're not doing something, you're lazy. But the truth is the opposite. Having the discipline to do less is the most courageous act you can perform in a society that profits from your exhaustion. Mental health deteriorates not from lack of achievements, but from an excess of meaningless actions. Every unnecessary task you add to your life is a small theft of your vital energy. And when your energy depletes, your capacity to feel purpose vanishes too. The mind hacker knows that true control comes from elimination, not accumulation. Every yes to something unimportant is a no to something that matters. Your attention is finite, but your potential impact is infinite when you focus it correctly. Deprogramming strategy. Implement the single thing protocol. Every day, before opening your task list, identify one action that, if it were the only thing you accomplished today, would still make you feel fulfilled. Ignore everything else until that single thing is complete. Transformational challenge. For 7 days, limit yourself to only 3 tasks per day. No matter what your mind says, no matter how many emergencies appear. 3 tasks, period. You'll discover you can live perfectly while doing less, and your mental health will thank you. Immediate action. Take your current task list and cross out 70% of it right now. Keep only the 3 most important items. If you can't do this, the productivity addiction has already taken control of you. But don't worry, recognition is the first step toward liberation. If you're ready to break the toxic productivity cycle, comment the word focus below. And if this content is making sense to you, hit that like button so more people can discover this life-changing truth. The choice manipulation matrix. How they convinced you that freedom means having endless options. Think having unlimited choices equals freedom? Prepare to discover how this is the most sophisticated form of mind control ever created, and you've been living inside it your entire life. Behavioral psychology uncovered something disturbing. The more options a person has, the more paralyzed they become. The famous paradox of choice, documented by psychologist Barry Schwartz, demonstrated that people exposed to numerous options experience more anxiety, regret, and dissatisfaction with their decisions. But here's what they didn't tell you. This isn't a system bug. It's a feature. The marketplace profits from your indecision. Every moment you spend choosing between 47 types of breakfast cereal is a moment your brain isn't questioning why you need processed cereal to be happy in the first place. The choice matrix works like this. They give you the illusion of control by offering thousands of superficial options while silently removing the choices that actually matter. You can choose between 200 TV channels, but you can't choose to work only 6 hours a day without being judged. You can choose between 50 coffee variations at Starbucks, but you can't choose to question whether you need caffeine to function. Your brain interprets every choice as a mini-stressful event. Functional neuroimaging shows that stress-associated brain areas activate with each decision, even the most trivial ones. By day's end, you're mentally exhausted not from the important choices you made, but from the 1,247 unnecessary micro-decisions the system forced you to make. The subversive evolution is understanding that true freedom isn't having infinite options. It's having the wisdom to eliminate unnecessary options. Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every day not from lack of creativity, but because he understood that every minor decision you automate is more mental energy available for decisions that actually impact your life. Emotional freedom begins when you stop confusing choice with liberty. Real freedom is having such clarity about your values that 90% of options become automatically irrelevant. It's like having an internal GPS so calibrated that you don't even need to look at the map. You simply know where to go. The infinite choice autopilot keeps you spinning in circles, always busy deciding, never actually living. Every hour spent comparing options is an hour stolen from the experience of living your choices. The mind hacker recognizes that decision fatigue is not a personal weakness, it's a systemic exploitation of human psychology. Your mental bandwidth is being hijacked by trivial choices to prevent you from making the meaningful ones. Liberation tool. Create your life menu. List the 5 most important areas of your life and define one default option for each recurring decision in those areas. Same work outfit, same breakfast, same exercise time. Automate the automatic to liberate the creative. Mental experiment. For 1 week, whenever you have more than 3 options for anything, automatically choose the first or second available option. Don't analyze. Don't compare, just choose and move forward. You'll discover that your decision quality doesn't decrease, but your mental energy increases dramatically. Reality check protocol. Before making any choice that takes more than 2 minutes to decide, ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? If the answer is no, make the quickest, reasonable choice and move on with your life. If you're ready to escape the prison of infinite choices, comment, simplify below. Share your experience with the limited choice experiment. Others need to see that it's possible to live well with fewer options. The authenticity detection system. How to identify which choices are actually yours. Powerful hook. What if I told you that 80% of your most important life choices weren't actually your choices, but social programming disguised as free will? Here's how to tell the difference. Social neuroscience revealed something shocking. Our brains make decisions based on what they think others expect from us, not what we actually want. A Stanford University study showed that when people believe they're being observed even when they're not, their choices change in 67% of cases to align with perceived social expectations. This means most of your personal choices are actually collective choices. Did you choose your career? Or did you choose what your parents, society, and LinkedIn algorithms told you was a good career? Did you choose your lifestyle? Or did you choose an edited version of what you saw on social media? The social autopilot is the most dangerous because it masquerades as authenticity. You genuinely feel like you're making personal choices when you're actually executing a social script so well integrated, it seems to come from within. It's like a mental virus that hacks your perception of autonomy. The most sophisticated manipulation isn't forcing you to do something, it's making you believe you want to do something. The marketing industry evolved from selling products to selling identities. They don't want you to buy an iPhone. They want you to become the type of person who uses an iPhone. Mental health suffers because you're constantly trying to be someone you're not, making choices that don't align with your essence. It's like trying to run Mac software on a PC. Technically possible, but it will lag, overheat, and eventually crash. Emotional freedom only exists when you can distinguish between your authentic preferences and your programmed preferences. The subversive evolution is about developing an internal authenticity detector so sensitive you can feel when you're doing something for external pressure. Fear of judgment is the fuel that powers inauthentic choices. But here's the liberating truth. People are too busy with their own lives to judge your choices as much as you imagine. Most of the judgment you fear exists only in your mind. The mind hacker understands that social programming isn't evil. It's evolutionary. Humans survived by conforming to group norms. But in modern society, the survival mechanism often works against your individual fulfillment. Authenticity protocol. Before any important decision, ask yourself this question: if I were the only person on the planet, would I still make this choice? If the answer is no, you've identified social programming disguised as personal preference. Deprogramming exercise. List your 10 most important choices from the past 5 years. For each one, identify what type of external validation you were seeking with that choice. Recognition, approval, status, security. Don't judge yourself. Just observe the patterns. Calibration tool. Create a motivations journal. For 2 weeks, quickly note the real motivation behind each choice you make. I chose this because you'll start seeing patterns and identifying when you're choosing from authenticity versus programming. Values archaeology. Dig deep into your childhood before social conditioning took hold. What did you naturally gravitate toward before anyone told you what you should like? Those early preferences often contain clues to your authentic self. If you discovered that some of your choices weren't actually yours, comment "Awakening" below. And if you're starting to question other areas of your life, hit that like button. It means the awakening process has already begun. The real control revolution: how to reclaim power over your own existence. Want to know the difference between people who live with purpose and people who live exhausted searching for purpose? The first group figured out where real control actually lives. Control psychology reveals something fundamental. You cannot control what happens to you, but you have total control over how you respond to what happens. A 30-year longitudinal study showed that people with an internal locus of control, those who believe their actions influence their outcomes, live longer, are healthier, and report greater life satisfaction. But here's the paradox. True control begins with accepting what you cannot control. Society sells you the illusion that you should be able to control everything. Your career, relationships, health, mood, future. This illusion is what generates the constant anxiety you feel. The false control autopilot keeps you trying to manipulate external variables while ignoring the only variable you can actually adjust: your internal response. You spend energy trying to control what people think of you, but don't spend 5 minutes controlling what you think of yourself. The subversive evolution is about redirecting 100% of your control energy inward. Instead of trying to control whether it will rain, you control whether you bring an umbrella. Instead of trying to control whether you'll get promoted, you control the quality of work you deliver. Instead of trying to control whether people will love you, you control how much you love yourself. Emotional freedom is born when you stop being hostage to external circumstances. Your inner peace cannot depend on variables you don't control, because that puts you on a permanent emotional roller coaster. True emotional stability comes from internal sources. Your purpose isn't something you find out there, it's something you build in here. It's the sum of small daily choices aligned with your internal values, not external expectations. Purpose is a verb, not a noun. It's something you do, something you have. Mental health strengthens when you stop fighting reality and start dancing with it. This isn't resignation, it's strategy. When you accept what you cannot change, all your energy becomes available to change what you can. The mind hacker knows that the Serenity Prayer wasn't written by a religious leader. It was written by a psychologist who understood the fundamental truth about human well-being. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Real control system. Divide all your problems into 2 lists: can influence and cannot influence. Spend 0 mental energy on the second list. All your attention goes to the first list. This alone will revolutionize your relationship with stress. Redirection protocol. Every time you catch your mind trying to control something external, stop and ask, what can I do differently in this situation? Immediately redirect your control energy to your actual sphere of influence. Personal manifesto. Write in one sentence your personal definition of success, based only on factors you control. Example, my success is sleeping peacefully knowing I gave my best today. This becomes your new life metric, the ultimate freedom test. For the next month, every time you feel frustrated or anxious, ask yourself, am I trying to control something I cannot control? Then immediately shift your focus to what you can control in that moment. If you're ready to take real control over your life, comment sovereignty below. Share what was your biggest discovery from this video. Your experience could be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if you want to continue this journey of subversive evolution, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. The revolution doesn't happen in the streets, it happens in your mind. And it has already begun.